This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, we have new information on the investigation into a child death in Bangor on February 18th.
Police say that child's death has now been ruled a homicide. Bangor police say on the morning of Sunday, February 18th, a 10-year-old Bangor child was brought to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. The hospital notified Bangor police and DHHS. Police tell us this scene in Birch Hill Estates from February 19th is connected to that investigation. Despite life-saving efforts, the child did succumb to his injuries and pass away. Police say the chief medical examiner in Augusta has ruled the child's death a homicide. Bangor police detectives arrested 3 people in connection with the child's murder. The child's father, 33-year-old Joshua Smith of Bangor, the child's mother, 35-year-old Jem Bean of Bangor, and the paternal grandmother, 56-year-old Misty La Tourette of Bangor. All 3 have been charged with depraved indifference murder and transported to the Penobscot County Jail, though not all of their mugshots were available. The case remains under investigation.
3 Chinese nationals attempting to cross into the U.S. illegally have been arrested in Maine. The U.S. Border Patrol in Holton says agents noticed the Chinese nationals attempting to use the cover of darkness to gain entry into Fort Fairfield. They say a driver from New York, also a Chinese national who's already in immigration proceedings, was also arrested and suspected of attempting to help with the illegal entry. You can report any suspicious activity to the Holton sector headquarters at 532-6512. 12 extension 5.
Well, 3 new bills introduced by legislative Democrats aim to curb gun violence in the state in the wake of the Lewiston mass shooting. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has more on what's in those bills and the response from Republican lawmakers.
This suite of legislation that we are introducing today in conjunction with the governor's proposed legislation will initiate important progress to make our state safer.
The suite features 3 bills that would seek to implement the following changes in the state. Increase mental health crisis units. Enable the mental health crisis system to connect to 911 dispatch. Increase the number of crisis walk-in centers. Establish a main office of violence prevention. Increase the medication management services, institute a statewide active shooter alert system, implement a ban on bump stock-like devices, and institute a 72-hour waiting period for all firearm sales in the state.
I will say at the outset that the lens in which we have been using to craft this legislation has really been through a public health lens.
There has to be a way for level-headed people to come together and figure out a way that could possibly stop or make it harder for anything like this to happen again.
There are some of the measures, like bump stock bans and the 72-hour waiting period, that Republicans previously defeated in prior bills. However, they did seem open to supporting more mental health services.
Mass shootings are clearly a mental health issue because sane, balanced people do not perpetrate them. They just don't.
The crisis receiving centers, I think that's definitely something where we could get behind. I think, frankly, the amount of money being allocated to it is wholly inadequate. I think we need to be doing more on that front.
While these bills are in the early stages of the legislative process, Speaker Talbot Ross is hopeful that the ideas in the bills will pass with bipartisan support.
It's absolutely our hope that we will be able to move forward in a bipartisan manner. Preliminary conversations with some Republican leaders have indicating a willingness to sit down and talk.
Speaker Talbot Ross's bill will have its first public hearing on Monday. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
About 2 weeks ago, residents in Plymouth received a notice that the town's drinking water contains levels of PFAS that exceed the state's safe drinking water standard. Our Grace Blanchard spoke with community members as they navigate this crisis.
Nearly 200 people in Plymouth are without safe drinking water after recent testing revealed potentially harmful levels of PFAS.
It's big. It's big in a small town like this.
This is what's so sad about this happening, is that this is a wonderful community, and for us to go through this, it's very sad, frightening.
A notice went out to the public highlighting the risks that can come from ingesting high levels of PFAS, leaving many on edge.
Who wants to shower in that kind of water? Who wants to bathe in it? You know, and getting water outside, outside water is also expensive too. So what is a family supposed to do?
Over 60 families are currently relying on water that's been donated by Poland Springs.
That is awesome. It's a relief, actually.
Lorraine Farah is one of the many impacted and says it has been a nightmare.
We can't cook, we can't do any, we can take showers and do laundry and do our dishes, but we can't cook and we can't drink the water as of right now.
According to town officials, a filtration system is being designed, but it could be months before that is ready. Farah says the fire department will continue to hand out water to those in need.
Keep checking on their neighbors, and if they see them getting low on water, other than the 3 days a week, please, call somebody, because we don't want anyone to go without clean water.
In Plymouth, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Maine game wardens are urging people to stay off of the ice following today's storm. Rainfall has left standing water on lakes and ponds across the region, which wardens say could expand ice fishing holes left in the ice and expose rocks near the surface.
Any open water that was open before obviously is going to be more open now or less safe. Those that have maybe ice shacks out should be considering caution when removing them. Normally this would be peppered with ice shacks still. If it keeps going the way it is, it's going to be a very short season.
Wardens also want to remind the public to use caution even if they don't see standing water, because ice in many areas is not as thick as people would normally expect it to be this time of year. A link to more information on ice safety guidelines can be found on our website. That's, of course, foxbangor.com.
Most of our area woke up to that rain and wind, causing trees to blow and bend. Maine Emergency Management Agency is urging awareness and preparedness because they say there's more to come throughout the night.
The major concern for this storm is the high winds causing power outages and then the temperatures falling dramatically overnight. For folks who lose power and don't have an alternate heating source, it's going to be an uncomfortable situation.
Corson says there will be a widespread impact from this storm. Utility crews are on standby across the state, but they won't be able to climb up those poles if the wind is still whipping around. Warming centers are open, and you can find more information on maine.gov/MEMA.
All right, that's important to keep in mind. We'll be keeping our eye on outages as well as the evening progresses.
Absolutely.
For right now, let's go ahead and get a peek of our forecast and see what the rest of this evening actually looks like.
Thank you so much, Beth and Peter, and hope you brought your umbrellas today because it's been raining. Not quite the whole time. We had some breaks throughout the day. Same story right now. But overall, though, a lot more rain is on the way. Get ready for that. Visibilities are limited, though. We do have some thick clouds and some fog as well. 2 miles here in town, right by the coast, Bar Harbor, Rockland, even less than 2 miles in some spots. So things are definitely looking a little bit poor out there. Please slow down for that afternoon commute. High temperatures, though, near 50 earlier today, 50 in Bar Harbor. Rockland was at 48 degrees, and even up north where we have a thicker snowpack, we saw some 40s in the area, so we did melt some snow away. Now, we do have some advisories we need to talk to. Wind advisories, and same story, high wind warnings actually right by the coast. Here in town, though, we're looking at wind advisories and even some flood watches that have been posted, so a lot to really talk about with this storm. Now, for today, though, into tonight, of course, we are looking at temperatures hovering around 50, and then we're going to see a sharp decrease in temperatures overnight. Beth and Peter?
Looks like the precipitation continues as well, so who knows if flooding is going to be a concern.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
And then potential freezing, too, so got to watch out for that in the morning.
Definitely. Well, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, our Doug Banks brings us the latest on the proposed consolidation of a crucial Hamden postal facility.
And the Department of Education hopes to add more community schools across the state of Maine. We'll have those stories and more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
You're stepping inside from a romp in the snow with the kids. Time to take the chill off with a cup of hot chocolate and a push of a button on a Fujitsu heat pump from Valley Home Services. Skip the worry of heating bills and call or visit valleymaine.com today to start saving.
Transform your surroundings with Paramount Paving, located in Bangor. They are your paving and seal coating experts. Whether it's residential maintenance to full commercial projects, Paramount Paving delivers quality that lasts. Book before June 1st and enjoy a $250 Visa gift card upon completion of your next paving project. Call us today at 602-8931 or visit us at ParamountPavingLLC.com. Paramount Paving, setting the standard for excellence. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
My father worked at the mill for over 30 years. He was exposed to a great community and excelled at his job, but he was also exposed to asbestos. The air quality inside the mill was always his biggest complaint. He had no idea how deadly some of the products and materials were. When he was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew to call Joe Bornstein's office to get my dad the help he needs and the justice he deserves.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard Parks.
The new Efficiency Main heat pump rebates are here, and they're huge. Based on income, save from $4,000 to $11,100. And when combined with the new tax credits, the savings are bigger than ever, and Valley gives you your rebate instantly. Call Valley Home Services now for your new Fujitsu heat pump.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Since late last year, a major postal facility in Hamden has been included in proposed plans for consolidation. Ahead of tomorrow's public meeting, our Doug Banks sat down with one local union president to understand what this potential move could mean for the area.
As part of the USPS's Delivering for America plan, the Eastern Maine Processing and Distribution Center in Hamden could be repurposed as a local processing facility. With fewer capabilities, it would no longer process local mail, affecting delivery times and employees.
They maintain that there'll be no career employee layoffs, which I'm sure is accurate because our collective bargaining agreement doesn't allow for that. However, it does allow for reassignment.
Right now, if you were to send a letter from one side of Bangor to the other, it first has to go through Hamden to be processed and postmarked. If the consolidation happens, the letter would be sent 2 hours south to Scarborough for processing before being sent north again for delivery. Those who rely on the Postal Service for medication, absentee ballots, and other time-sensitive items could see notable delays.
Anything that's time-sensitive in nature, it'll have an effect on it. These consolidations seem to degrade the service end of it instead of maintain or increase the service end.
One of Parochi's main concerns is the impact it could have on local post offices.
Those offices have a designated level, and as employees are pulled out of those offices, carriers, and utilized out of the plant, that is going to downgrade those other post offices.
On Thursday, a public input meeting will be held at Jeff's Catering in Brewer, starting at 4 o'clock. In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Maine's community schools put an emphasis on taking student support beyond the classroom, and the Department of Education is hoping to add more of these schools across the state. Our David Ledford explains.
The Maine Department of Education is offering funding to expand the state's community schools, which provide a variety of resources for both students and families, in addition to academic learning. At a community school, staff can quickly direct students to food pantries, healthcare, and more.
It requires a fundamental shift in thinking about how to deliver public education in a way that addresses the whole child. Food, books, clothing, and diapers, and other necessities, all to prioritize the well-being of students and families. The school transforms into a community hub.
Maine currently has community schools in Old Town, New Sharon, and Portland. The funding allows the department to develop up to 5 more. Department of Education representatives say any public elementary or secondary school can become a community school, and the resources they provide can help families address issues like absenteeism.
If students are coming to school hungry or dealing with stress or lacking adequate mental or physical health needs. It just makes it that much harder to focus on learning. Well, community schools are organized in a way to address those barriers.
Families interested in helping their school become a community school can visit our website, foxbangor.com, to learn more. Schools have until March 15th to apply. In Bangor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Alrighty, folks. Well, coming up, we've got sports. Always plenty to talk about there, especially lately.
Especially, yeah, absolutely. Orono boys actually looking for their second straight state title. We'll have that story coming right up.
Exciting. Stay with us.
SNAP-Ed is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program education. The nutrition programming is provided by nutrition educators who really understand their communities.
This work requires partnerships because it's about supporting the community.
The things that we teach people, I know it makes a huge impact. What we do is not just good for people who receive SNAP benefits, but for the whole community.
CEM DP Porter Contractors have been in business for more than 40 years. We have recently added an electrical division to further be of service to our loyal customers. CEM specializes in design build for commercial and residential projects. Whether you need help with older construction, new build-outs, or electrical services, CEM has you covered. CEM is currently hiring for all positions. We offer competitive pay as well as great benefits. To inquire about employment or construction, please reach out to 848-7486 or visit CEMmaine.com.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button, only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by the KG. Stop in for hunting and fishing supplies, apparel, and homemade food.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We're going to kick things off on the hardwood here. Up in Orono, Maine women's basketball is currently #2 in America East ahead of their final 2 regular season games tomorrow and Saturday at the Pit. It all starts tomorrow against Binghamton. It's a team Maine hasn't lost to in years, but they always seem to give them a tough battle. And then on Saturday, it's a big one, a showdown against America East's top team from Albany, potentially for the #1 seed heading into the conference tournament. These 2 games are a perfect test to prepare them for the tourney, and the team isn't thinking about changing anything that's gotten them this far.
We're just taking care of ourselves, focusing on what we need to do to get better, and I think we have. It's just going to be defense and taking what they give us and just staying composed and staying within the moment.
Just really taking it at a time, making sure we come out strong in the first half. Don't try to get them too many open looks, and then if we stick to the game plan, we'll be in good shape.
If the Black Bears win out, they can clinch home court advantage throughout the America East tournament. They haven't lost a conference game in Orono yet this year. Having a possible 5 more games there in front of some of America East's best fans is just another driving force heading into this final stretch.
We have the best fans in the conference easily. The amount of support that we have here, the intensity here, this environment, it's like no other place in our conference.
Playing here in the Pit with our fans, it's a great advantage to us, and so it's a really big motivation, and we have to win on Thursday for that, to even be a possibility.
All right, keeping it one day at a time. Let's keep it on the hardwood here. We are now under 48 hours away from tip-off of the Class B state championships at the Cross Center. And when the Orono Red Riots take the court Friday, the boys will be looking for their second straight gold ball. For the second straight year, too, the Riots will take on Oceanside for the state championship. Last year, Orono taking a close 61-58 victory in a really good game. There's been a lot of conversation about Oceanside this year, and a lot of it centers around their offense. The Mariners are led by the Galley twins, who both score over 20 points a game, and the team themselves puts up nearly 90 a game. So the Riots know slowing down that attack is top priority.
They're coming out with the same, if not more, intensity, and we know they're going to be hungry, especially coming up after last year's loss. It's going to be a defensive game for sure, and whoever comes out and prides himself on defense for the full 32 minutes is going to come out with the W.
The Galley brothers are obviously very tough, and so is Zeb Foster, so we're going to have our hands full on defense, but that's what our drive has been the whole season. I think looking forward to these guys has been getting our defense ready to go. So.
It's been a great last few years for the Orono boys. They brought home 2 regional titles and a state championship with football. Plus, you look at last year's championship run with basketball and this year's trip to the gold ball game, and they credit all of that to a winning attitude all throughout the building.
We have a group of winners, and we're all super competitive. We get after each other in practice, on the field, and it comes out to help us in the long run.
Everybody just loves to win here. We always go hard, we grind. As we go at each other in practice all the time, competitive nature is great. I think that if you have a team that's not competitive with each other in practice, you're not going to succeed as much.
All right, wishing them luck. That's all the time we have for sports. Here is your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Tyler. Our main weather is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Penobscot Plaza in Bangor, providing custom ink by licensed artists for over 20 years. And wow, what a storm we got going on. D.C., New York, they got some pretty heavy rain as well. That's all going to continue to work its way up north, and we're going to get in on a lot more rain. And then as temperatures fall, that rain will turn into snow. For now, though, very thick clouds in the area, cloudy skies all over the state, and some scattered rain showers. That's going to continue to pick up as we continue to head into those evening hours. Now look at this, past midnight, this is where we're talking that rain changing over to some snow on the back end. Of course, temperatures will be falling sharply from around 50 earlier today to those teens by tomorrow morning. So we will see some flash freeze, which means all that rain and the wet surfaces will freeze just like that. So it's going to be very, very slick by tomorrow morning. Please be careful and slow down. Just leave a little bit extra early for that morning commute. Now, rainfall-wise, though, this is what we're looking at. Possibly closer to an inch of additional rain by the coast, probably staying just under that here in town. By Dover, Foxcroft, same story, around half an inch of rain still to come. Now, snowfall-wise, though, this is going to be on the back end. The last, I'd say, 2 to 3 hours of the storm, possibly under an inch here in town. That's what we're looking at. Same thing by the coast. You got to go up north to get a little bit heavier snowfall totals. We got Greenville, Millinocket area, where snowfall accumulations will be around 1 to 2 inches. It is very windy outside. We're looking at sustained winds near 30 miles per hour in Bar Harbor here in town. We're looking at sustained winds around 25, and of course those wind gusts are closer to 40 miles per hour. That's going to continue overnight tonight into the day tomorrow, so get ready and hold those hats and scarves. It's going to feel very cold by tomorrow as this sharp cold front continues to cross the country. Look at this. Washington, D.C. around 61 on the back end. We're looking at 20s and even some teens, so get ready for that. Chicago was in the mid-70s yesterday, and then overnight they hit 26 degrees with snow. They had tornado warnings during the day, and then snow on the back end just 8 hours later. The very, very sharp cold front on the way. We're going to see that overnight tonight as temperatures cool off to around 18. Rain changing over to snow, generally less than an inch of snow here in town. A little bit higher totals up north. Of course, closer to Dover, Foxcroft, Greenville, Millinocket area. It's going to be very windy all over the area. For tomorrow, though, we're staying cold. Low 20s outside, mainly sunny skies, though, but it's going to be windy, so 22 degrees is going to feel more like 10 throughout the day, so get ready for that. Our extended forecast outlook does show warm temperatures making a return once again Saturday, Sunday, into Monday with more chances of rain. Beth and Peter?
Alrighty, messy week ahead.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, well, there is still more to come. Stay with us.
A family-owned and operated business since 1953, Hammond Lumber Company recognizes the value of their team members and the importance of employee satisfaction. Hammond is honored to have been named one of the best places to work in Maine for 3 years running. This year, Hammond was selected as one of the best companies to work for by Business New Hampshire magazine. Hammond is always looking for great people to join their team. To find your place on the Hammond team, click on the careers link at hammondlumber.com.
Hanks Husqvarna is your full-line Husqvarna dealer with 2 convenient locations, 32 Old State Road in Carmel and 19 Moosehead Trail in Newport. Whether it's tractors and zero-turns, chainsaws to trimmers, or pressure washers to battery power, everything is set up, serviced, and ready to go by our certified Husqvarna technician. And all sales are backed by our in-house Husqvarna warranty. For parts, service, or sales, stop in to Hanks Husqvarna, Carmel or Newport.
Great Scott! This is Green Bear 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
ABC 7, Fox 22, Maine Collision Center, and Old Town Redemption Center want to send you to see the professional bull riders performing March 8th through 10th at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor. Register to win 2 tickets by stopping by Maine Collision Center in Bangor. For all your collision repair, we straighten out your life. Or Old Town Redemption Center, offering a 10% bonus on returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Professional bull riders, an exciting show for the entire family.
The pandemic unfortunately closed some businesses and organizations for good, but one local organization actually used the time to renovate in the hopes of furthering their mission. Our Matthew Jarancic has the story.
Home Inc.'s Soup Kitchen program has been a vital part of the Orland community for years. But then, the pandemic hit, forcing the organization to close the kitchen for 4 years. Now, a place that many call home is back open, serving up food and smiles to new and returning guests.
It's something that, to me, was always very special about home, how we could bring people here. It was a space to break down barriers and bring people together to talk and to be in community with each other.
Since the Soup Kitchen's closed 4 years ago, they've renovated the dining room and the kitchen. The workers we spoke to say they're excited to see the Soup Kitchen up and running, serving the public again.
Wonderful. I think it's what we need. I think it's good for the community.
Moore says they've seen a sharp increase in need.
There's an 82% increase in people accessing our food distribution line. So that's significant and something that this Soup Kitchen is hoping to address with our programming.
At the end of the day, Moore hopes this can be a safe space for people to ask for help when needed.
My hope is that this can be a space again where people can be together, where we can talk about our needs and staff can work with people who need help and have a really low barrier way to talk about what can help people get to where they need to be.
In Orland, Matthew Jarancic, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
It's always sad to think that, some businesses had to say goodbye permanently because of the pandemic. It's just so unfair and so heartbreaking. So nice to see, that one was able, that particular organization was able to reopen and even just use the time to their advantage a little bit.
Yeah, reopen and revamp over that period of time. And I really like their mission of not just feeding people, but being a source of community for people. And, that's... And it's right there in their name, Home Inc. I love that.
Yeah, you want to eradicate isolation wherever possible, and certainly food insecurity.
Yeah.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care, and we hope you have a great rest of your night.
Good night, everyone.